Shall I read it?
Okay.
You've done a lot of talking. I feel like I should give you a break for 2 seconds.
Okay then.
Okay, so Nitish Agarwal on YouTube asks...
I bet you regret now.
No, I think I nailed it. Hi, I have been following your channel for some time now, and I would like to thank you for your work. Keep it up. I'm planning to travel to New Zealand this June, July for around 15 to 18 days. I would like to understand, apart from skiing, is there anything else we can do in terms of adventure activities? Me and my wife like to trek a lot, but being the winter season, will this be feasible? What about river rafting and scuba diving? Will that be feasible in winter? Looking forward to your response.
All right. So first, I love how polite that question was. I thought that was absolutely delightful.
It was.
Thank you very much,
Delight
Nitish.
to read.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nitish. And yeah, so what we're going to be doing in this video right here is that we're going to be talking about the adventurous activities in New Zealand which are really popular, and we'll tell you where we will do them in winter, because you can do almost everything in New Zealand in winter. Seriously, the season doesn't really affect that much.
Yeah.
You know, can you do something or not? But let's get started with whitewater rafting. So whitewater rafting is open pretty much everywhere in New Zealand, aside from Queenstown, which is the one I know we
Queenstown closes during the winter. But
so the one thing that may happen is that you may find that some whitewater rafting company have a bit less tours in winter, and you will find that this is pretty much the same thing for all the adventures activities.
Yeah.
So instead of having like a tour every hour, for example, they may just have 2 tours in the morning and 1 tour in the afternoon, or vice versa, and that is pretty much it. So as long as you plan a bit better with your timing, you will be absolutely fine to do so. Now, if I was to pick a place to go whitewater rafting in winter, just because it can get a little bit cold, I will pick somewhere on the North Island, because that will allow you to just be a little bit warmer, because the North Island is significantly warmer in winter than the South Island. So to do whitewater rafting, I will either pick Rotorua, which does whitewater rafting in the Kaituna River, which includes the highest commercially rafted waterfall in the world. So Rotorua, or I will choose Mohaka rafting, which is on the what's the town they started with?
It's near Napier.
Near Napier.
Yeah.
There you go. I had a blank. So Mohaka rafting near Napier, which is a really cool place to do whitewater rafting in winter as well.
And a cool thing just to add about that is Mohaka rafting actually puts on tours even if there's only 2 of you in the raft, because some tours may have minimum amount of numbers that they can have until the tour goes ahead. But the really cool thing about Mohaka is that in winter, when it is quieter and it's more likely to be the case that you're the only ones on the tour, they will still do the tour for you.
Exactly. And you can see us, just Laura and I, doing the tour in winter, and you have a video of that on this channel. So just type Mohaka rafting, Mohaka rafting, and then NZ Pocket Guide, and you'll find us.
Yeah.
Next up, scuba diving. Where would you do scuba diving in New Zealand in winter?
Yeah, so like Robin said, the North Island is warmer than the South Island. Well, pretty much all year round, but especially in winter. And one of the top sort of scuba diving spots in the country is around Poor Knights Islands, which can be accessed from Tutukaka, just a little bit north of the city of Whangarei. And they do scuba diving all year round from there. They will give you really good wetsuits to keep you warm, really thick wetsuits. And yeah, they can take you to various places around the Poor Knights Islands, which is really has an amazing array of marine life. And yeah, around some beautiful islands, which are basically wildlife sanctuaries. So that whole experience is really amazing. And yeah, also during winter, you do get the opportunity up there to swim with seals. There's a bit of a seal colony on the rocks over there. So after you've done your scuba dive, you might get the chance to go and snorkel with the seals in the water, which is an incredible experience. And we do have a video on all that on YouTube. So if you just search Poor Knights Islands, scuba, NZ Pocket Guide, you will pretty much come to the right video. Cool.
Another good place is the Bay of Island as well. It's a good place for scuba diving. Now, skydiving, For skydiving, same thing, because it gets a little bit cold, and when you kind of start skydiving, you know, you jump from the plane, it gets really cold and everything. So to get the best experience, I will do it on the North Island, and I will pick the Bay of Islands to do that. The Bay of Islands is the thing all the way on the top of the North Island of New Zealand, and it's a pretty cool place to do skydiving there, because on good weather day, they even let you land on the beach, which is quite awesome. Another good place will be Tauranga. Mountain biking. So for mountain biking, Laura, what's the thing to keep in mind in winter?
Yeah, so mountain biking, like some trails could be closed if there's a lot of rain, you know, that can wash some of the trails, make it super slippery and unenjoyable to ride in if they're too muddy. So with that in mind, I would choose to go mountain biking in one of the places like Taupo, which the landscape around there is volcanic, so the rock is porous, meaning that the water basically just drains right through and dries up quite quickly. So you have less of the worry of having muddy tracks, and their trails are basically suitable all year round.
For hiking now, hiking is available all year round in New Zealand, or pretty much everywhere. There are thousands and thousands of hiking tracks in the country. There are a few very popular, like super long hike, like the Great Walk in Milford, the Milford track that closes in winter. It does close in winter.
Yes,
yeah, that's close, yeah. You just nodded. I was like, am I wrong? It's an obvious thing, but yeah. So it closes in winter, so you may not be able to do this one, but there are some amazing hikes to do all around. If I was to pick one to do one of the Great Walk, I will do the Abel Tasman Great Walk, which is really awesome, and you go alongside the coast. It's really amazing, and you can also do a lot of day walks over there. So I will do around the Abel Tasman area if I was to pick one area, but again, so many hikes, and we can talk about hikes for actual weeks. We could be live for a whole week, no sleep, and talk about hiking in New Zealand, and we will not even have finished talking about everything.
Yeah, so, just to add to that though, also a lot of hikes would be a lot of hikes are closed during winter if they are in mountainous regions where there's going to be snow. So for instance, a popular hike that many people have on their agenda is the Tongariro crossing, but you cannot do that alone in winter. You need to either be a skilled mountaineer with all your, your crampons and all that, or you go with a guide, with a winter guide, and do the experience like that. But just bear in mind that doing, mountain hikes and things like that is going to be a little bit more limited in winter.
For sure. All right, moving on to dolphin swimming. It's a very popular activity to do in New Zealand, and if you decide to do it in winter, the town of Tauranga has pretty warm water. They have bottlenose dolphin, and they have the boat is really big, really well equipped, and the way they do dolphin swimming as well is that you're not jumping from the boat and having to swim toward the dolphin. They actually you hold onto a bar next to the boat, and they kind of track you at a very slow speed, so the dolphins swim near you. So it gives you a really cool experience without having to exhaust yourself and also having to swim too far and then having to swim back and everything. So it's not too much of a hassle and everything. When it's winter and you're a little bit more cold, you may want a more straightforward experience. So I think dolphin swimming in Tauranga will be the best one in winter. Moving on to Blackwater Rafting, which is also a very popular activity, canoe caving, basically.
Yeah, so Blackwater Rafting is kind of the term for doing the sort of tubing or caving tours that you find in Waitomo. There's two different companies that do this, one called the legendary Blackwater Rafting company and Waitomo Adventures. And that can be done in winter as well. And best place to do it is in Waitomo, because that's pretty much the only place. Well, there is a place you can do that on the west coast in the South Island, but that actually tends to be having a few less tours in winter. So I definitely would recommend doing it in Waitomo. And yeah, the only way the tours would be cancelled after a lot of heavy rain and the water level in the caves can go up. But this is definitely this is definitely an exception. It's not the rule. So generally you can do Blackwater rafting anytime in the winter, as long as there's not a lot of rain.
And so you can find videos on the channel right here, and we've done all that in winter. Actually, our guide told us that because it's inside caves, right, the water is already quite cold, so you get really thick wetsuits that keep you really warm. And between the coldest day in winter and the warmest day in summer, the water temperature in the cave, has only a 2°C difference, which is very little, just because since it's the cave, it's not really that affected by the different temperature. So it's a great place to do that there. And lastly, cruising. Where would you take a cruise? It's my turn to say. For cruising, so taking a cruise in New Zealand, a lot of people like to go on the boat for a day and experience a bit more of what New Zealand has to offer from the water. There are a ton of cruises all around New Zealand. There are plenty everywhere. For example, in Bay of Islands, there are some amazing cruising available, but because it's in winter, a lot of companies decide to just shut. There is way less option available. The one place I think is best to cruise is actually Milford Sound in winter, just because Milford Sound looks so much better under the rain. It looks amazing under the rain.
Well, actually, the climate in Milford Sound, there is actually less rainfall in winter than there is in summer.
Well, what she said. But from my experience, when I go in winter, it usually rains, usually wet, so it's really amazing there. And the boats are gigantic, really super well equipped, so it's a super comfortable cruise. You have beautiful big windows, so you get to see most of the cruise as well. You're not crammed into a tiny boat, because sometimes if you take a cruise tour, it's a very, very small boat. So, if you want to go inside, well, you kind of have to fight for space. So those boats are really big and everything. Yeah. So it makes it for a super comfortable experience. So my one cruise that I will pick will be for winter in New Zealand, will be Milford Sound. All right, so that is all our tips on where to do some of the most popular activities in New Zealand in winter. As a quick reminder, winter in New Zealand is when, Laura?
It is from June to August.
And if you did find this video useful, like, subscribe, make sure to hit the like button to say thank you for all the hard work. Share it with your friends and join the community. And more information is available on nzpocketguide.com. Thanks for watching. All right, let's go back to the live chat.